Yo, real quick, the Dahmer tapes, right? And you actually get to hear him talk, and this was right after he got busted, and he was just like, look, I did what I did, and he was willing to identify victims, which was rare for a serial killer at this time. But listen to what he says, and I'm always talking about this when we're talking about like shitty psychopath people. But check this out. It's just, I thought it was interesting.
Okay, Chuck. What you were thinking? I wondered why I was compelled to do the murders. What I was searching for that would fill the emptiness that I felt. The murdering someone and disposing of them right away gives no great lasting pleasure.
It gives no lasting pleasure to kill people, yet
Or feeling of fulfillment.
no fulfillment.
And yet I still felt the compulsion to do it throughout these years.
Sounds like he can't even really explain what is drawing him to kill people, because it's not like he's saying it's giving him joy to do. That sucks, though. I've always said that there's always a small, very small part of the population that's going to be like this, and we just need to be on the lookout for that. That's just all there is to it. Right? Can people be sociopaths on this level and not have to kill people? Maybe if their disorder is like manifests in a different way where they're obsessed with not necessarily killing people, but maybe doing something else. Who knows? That's the thing, is we haven't, like, there's not a ton of study on this. Like, you think there would be. You think there would be just so much, right? You think they would have got right on this, just so they could identify future serial killers and just have a better way to protect against them, right? And some of these people also, I think we're also talking about like mass shooters and school shooters. They somewhat fall into this category as well. It's not just the serial killers. It's I think it's also them too. They have, a lot of them have some kind of sociopathy thing going on, I'm sure, right? We're talking about troubled individuals here, right? Now, I wasn't perfect when I was young by any means, god damn it, but we're talking like on a whole nother level here. We're talking hurting little animals and getting joy out of that. But the most important thing, he talks about it in this, and I think this is like the number one thing everyone should just be on the lookout for: lack of empathy. Let's see, I think he brings it up.
Jeff wanting to identify all the victims. This was very unique in somebody who was a serial killer, a true serial killer.
That's right. Probably because he knows that there's something wrong with it. He, like, these people can know that fundamentally what they're doing is wrong, but since they don't actually feel any remorse or any guilt about doing it, and some of them probably do get some pleasure out of killing, or some aspect of it, the aspect of hiding a secret from the world or whatever. A lot of these people just, it's really even hard to talk about them, but they're bizarre, right? And they actually have done some studies where it shows how the brain fires, and theirs does not fire like normally. Like, different colors of the brain light up, and it's completely different parts of the brain that are actually lighting up and doing the work and doing the thinking for these people. So apparently, like, I guess the part of their brain that has, anything about empathy or stuff like that, it just doesn't fire. So they are wired to be a completely different person. And I tell you what, too, it might be an advantage in an apocalypse, right? I mean, that might be the 1% of the population that thrives in the worst case of scenarios, where it's a crazy ass apocalypse, and if you get emotional, you're dead. Well, not having any emotions would actually probably benefit you in some sort of crazy apocalyptic bloodbath scenario. But back in the real world where we live now, that shit does not help anybody. It clearly causes major problems. But let's see if we can hear him say it.
Didn't deny it and said, yes, I killed, and I killed. This is how I killed, and this was why.
I didn't seem to have the normal feelings of empathy.
Yup.
Do you ever consciously think to yourself, geez, why don't I have these feelings that normal people have?
I did wonder about it.
Yup.
It started with fantasizing. It always started with fantasizing, and then eventually it seemed the fantasies came to be.
Oh.
He took
Because you were actively
his
trying to
fantasy
make them
world
happen.
to degrees and in places that most of us would.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have a couple videos up on the Shitty People's playlist where if we see like a straight up deranged sociopath, yeah, we're gonna talk about it here and there. And this was just, it was interesting to hear his. That sounded like a self-diagnosis to me, y'all. That's what that was. He's sitting there trying to, at least say that he's been curious about finding out why on earth he is a killer. If he doesn't even get like real pleasure out of it, it doesn't give him a sense of fulfillment, yet he has to do it anyway. He's willing to go through and talk about the victims and everything. So sounds to me like a guy that knows that he's fucked in the head, but he still went with it. Which, I mean, I guess that's the other question. Are there sociopaths that can live perfectly happy, normal, well, not normal and not necessarily happy, but can they live a normal-ish life and fit in and get through life without having to murder a bunch of people or do something like this? I mean, it's a pretty damn good question. I wish we had more insight on that. I've worked with a couple people that have something like this where they have no empathy, and I have literally always worried about just safety in general around them, and I have been attacked by one of them. So that definitely was not fun, and I can tell you this. I honestly do think their brain is wired different. I could not believe it. I could not believe it. He went from 0 to 100. Like, so quick. I'm still trying to figure out how that happened. I couldn't even get an adrenaline rush before this dude was already flying at me. It was nuts. Bad situation, and they're just scary. These are scary people. This person in particular, he told two cops he literally had like a bag of drugs in his hand and was like, "I'm keeping this. This is mine. No, I had to work all day for it. Fuck you." These cops were looking like, "Are you serious?" Wow. What? What do we even say to him? Right? And I'm just sitting there thinking like, man, you guys wouldn't be that cool about it if I pulled some shit like that. But clearly these officers understood that they were dealing with something. Because when you actually really look at one of these people in the middle of them acting like this, I don't know, there's a look. You can kind of figure out that there's some crazy stuff going on, especially when the police are involved. So I'm sure they already had their suspicions, right? And based off of the answers that this individual gave, they probably made the correct assessment. But as soon as I talked to those police, as soon as I saw them, they had the most confused look on their face. That is all I can say about it. That is all I could say about it. And they were totally on my level. They were like, no, I get it. Like, so they didn't give me any issues at all whatsoever, because I was simply just trying to do my job and trying to, enforce very, very simple rules, right? It was scary though. It really was scary, and it just came out of nowhere, right? I can't really talk about these things in detail at all. No name, no nothing like that. But it was one of the scarier situations I've been in, for sure. And it's somebody like this. I can tell you that it is somebody that literally is a sociopath, exactly like this. So yeah, but got to keep an eye out. Everybody, be careful. Look for people that have no empathy. It's hard to fake. It really is. Right? A lot of these people can teach themselves to fake certain things. They know that once the team like scores a point, everybody cheers and they're happy, and they can emulate that fairly easily. But try emulating empathy. Right? It's it's not something that you can really do. Right? It's something that's at least difficult to do. So look for that and be careful, everybody.